Very much. Is there no objection? The bill will be left pending. Is there objection? The bill is left pending. Chair lays out HB 3768 and recognizes Representative Bucy to lay out the bill.
To change direction dramatically. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the privilege to lay out House Bill 3768, this bill would modernize existing business code language to account for technological advancements and propose a framework for new organizations that leverage developing technologies. The way we organize and do business evolves as new technologies emerge. Electronic communication dramatically altered the business landscape, and blockchain technologies are beginning to have a similar impact. Business organization codes need to be amended to define and recognize how existing companies are using these tools today. The adoption and growth of modern technology has also led to the emergence of decentralized autonomous organizations known as DAOs. DAOs are internet-native organizations controlled by its members rather than a central authority or board of directors. DAOs use modern technologies such as blockchain for governance, voting, and other business activities. 2 states, Wyoming and Tennessee, currently recognize DAOs as legal entities, and the Utah DAO Act was approved on March 1st, 2023. Additionally, New Hampshire is considering a DAO Act, and Vermont has formalized blockchain entities within its existing LLC rules. In general, these policies do not create a cohesive application of existing state law like this bill does. This bill is an opportunity to welcome new organizations to the state, giving Texas an edge in attracting new businesses. This bill does not offer unique benefits to decentralized organizations that are not already available to other businesses. To ensure Texas continues to be a pioneer in technology and industry, House Bill 3768 clarifies electronic data systems such as distributed ledger technology like blockchain and electronic signatures such as smart contracts as sufficient for company agreements, books and records, and other documentation requirements. Presents a decentralized unincorporated association known as a DUA, mirroring existing guidance available under the Texas Unincorporated Nonprofit Association Act as a vehicle for DAOs to operate in a manner consistent with other business entities in Texas. Promotes the concept of an administrator for DUAs, a person authorized by the community to fulfill administrative or operational tasks as an accountability measure for the DAO. Presents a revenue opportunity for the state of Texas and sends a strong signal that Texas intends to stay at the forefront of the innovation economy. Been working on this with the IT caucus. This is a step in the right direction. Texas has been at the forefront of so many things. This is one next step. I'd love to request my right to close. We will have some experts that can really get into the technology. Questions if you have them. And
members, any questions for Representative Bucy?
Thank you, Mr.
Public testimony. Chair calls Megan Murray. We show you registered as Megan Murray on behalf of ATX DAO and yourself testifying for the bill. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Please
Hello.
proceed. Hello.
Hello, Chairman, members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to discuss HB 3768 today, which will clarify the use of blockchain technology for certain business purposes. My name is Megan Murray, and I am representing ATX DAO. ATX DAO is an organization. Individually, we are founders, developers. We are executives, artists, marketers, and other professions. Collectively, as a social organization, we are committed to connecting technology enthusiasts with the Austin community. What is a DAO? In its most simple form, a decentralized autonomous organization is a group of individuals that have come together with a common mission or purpose. DAOs are completely controlled by the organization's members rather than a central authority or board of directors. DAOs are communities of technical builders, social groups, creators, collectors, and more. Each of these organizations rely heavily on technology for collaboration, creating and authorizing proposals, and validating governance rights to make sure that members are exactly who they say they are. Leaders are often elected via nomination, and governance happens among the community rather than a closed boardroom. Today, there are nearly 12,000 DAOs that have collected over $13 billion in treasury, representing 6.6 million governance holders. DAOs have become synonymous with blockchain innovation, and around 80% of these DAOs have under 100 participants. DAOs themselves are effectively startups in an industry that's still very much maturing and looking for guidance. Guidance in the space, particularly for legal and regulatory expertise, is limited and often expensive. This combination creates a challenge for startups in any industry, and those challenges are amplified for DAOs and blockchain projects in general. As community members and business leaders, we've been organizing and forming businesses since the beginning of modern society. Over time, new structures have emerged in the form of corporations, not-for-profits, and limited liability corporations, all for different purposes. As technology evolves, the way we interact with these organizations also evolves. DAOs are a new organizational structure with technology at the forefront of ongoing operations rather than an afterthought or accommodation to the business. This does not replace the need for LLCs or corporations, but rather sends a message to emerging communities that Texas is open for business and willing to help guide the path forward for new technology. This bill does not represent any sort of tax advantage or other sorts of unique advantages to these organizations, but rather is a way for DAOs to pay taxes and be recognized as business entities just as any other company. Texas has a strong reputation as a business-friendly state and leader among new technology sectors. DAOs represent the next generation of mobilizing work engines. Innovation and regulation can create a clear framework, working together to welcome new entities to form right here in the great state of Texas. And it takes these conversations and thoughtful, forward-looking policymakers like yourselves to foster a pathway for the next generation. Thank you again for the opportunity to discuss this important topic with you today. I look forward to seeing Texas continue as a leader in this space, and I welcome any questions.
Thank you, Representative Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your testimony today. So a lot of times businesses or individuals will set up corporations, LLCs, partnerships, et cetera, to try to limit liability in certain business transactions and so forth. Is that what this does to a certain degree? Is it similar in that respect as far as the protections that a corporation or an LLC might provide an individual?
It is, and I think that's why we often see in other states LLCs are the mechanism that a lot of similar laws like this fall under, just because of the intent of a LLC in general. The challenges there are that you often have listed partners and managing members in different ways that that's enacted, but the reality is you have multiple quote, owners of that entity, but only a few of them are actually recognized. So that creates challenges like pass-through taxation for whoever is listed on the LLC. And depending on the size of the organization, that can be a big ask for many of these entities. What we're proposing is not to circumvent that in any sort of way, but rather to formalize it as appointing an administrator or someone who's elected to do business on behalf of that organization as a representative.
Okay. I'm not sure I understand any of this, to be honest.
That's okay.
I appreciate your response, and I'll look further into it.
Madam Chair Nyave.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So page 4, lines 24 through 27 of the bill state that a company agreement may be composed of computer code and maintained on blockchain or distributed ledger technology in full or in part if the record of the agreement is capable of being retained and accurate. Like, what does that mean?
And you said page 4.
Line 24, a company agreement may be composed of computer code and maintained on blockchain or distributed ledger technology.
Yeah, so for example, we use things like we use different types of technology that rely on blockchain to validate. So I have the credentials and I am able to vote, and blockchain technology recognizes that I have that right to vote on whatever the proposal is. So in our situation, and most DAOs operate this way too, anybody in the community can raise anything up to proposal, and it's literally that open, and that's the purpose and that's the intent. So as much of that is quickly evolving, as the credentials, as I stated, are based on technology first as the way that all this works, then we think it's important that that is recognized, that interaction and that ability to electronically sign, validate, authorize, and vote needs to be formalized in state laws as a business entity code. And my understanding is that it's not today. So what we're proposing and all of this lovely 24-page document would do is really define what a lot of those things are, how they can be implemented, and put a lot more guardrails around versus what's out there today, which, to be honest with you, is very gray and subject to a lot of interpretation. and I think opens up much more risk if we continue to rely on existing laws as they stand today for those laws to be exploited.
Members, any questions of this witness? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to testify on for or against HB 3768? If not, the chair recognizes Representative Bucy to close on HB 3768.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. This is, years from now, we'll pass this bill and we'll have LLCs and corporations and we'll have DUAs as well. This is another type of business model that will work to keep Texas at the forefront. I know the technology can seem crazy. Being on the IT caucus, we've been looking at this stuff for years, and I still have to look it up every time to understand blockchain and these things. I'd love to sit down one-on-one with people and talk through those things. But that's not really what we're doing here. We're creating a new organization that recognizes those things and allows an organization that functions as a whole, where each member gets a vote, can be incorporated, and have accountability to the government, and then tax it. So,
Thank you, members. Any questions for Representative Bucy? Thank you very much, Representative.
Mr. Chairman, I close.
If there's no objection, the bill will be left pending. Is there objection? Chair hears none, and the bill is left pending. Chair lays out